Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're listening on my podcast, welcome back to my podcast. My name is Charlie Starr. I'm an astrologer and tarot reader. You can book a reading with me at charliestarr.com. Today we're going to be talking about the full moon happening on October 9th in the sign of Aries. Okay, so what's happening for us at this full moon? This full moon is happening in the sign of Aries in conjunction with Chiron. So we have the full moon at 16 degrees of Aries and Chiron at 14 degrees of Aries. We also have Venus at 13 degrees of Libra in conjunction with the Sun, which is, of course, at 16 degrees of Libra. This is the main aspects that's happening at this full moon. So what does this mean for us? Okay, so Aries has to do with goals and ambitions. For a lot of us, this is the culmination, the fulfillment of a goal, which can be very, very exciting. There are people cheering you on because of this Venus that is perceiving the full moon in conjunction with the Sun. There are people in your lives that are celebrating with you the success that you are going through. I will say that there's something about this full moon that is very painful, and it's kind of exposing and highlighting some area in our lives that is not healed, because Chiron here is the wounded healer. So there's something here that's being really revealed that is not comfortable. So it's a success, it's a celebration, but it's a little bit bittersweet. It can feel a little bit raw at the same time. Let's get into where this is impacting each of us, because this is going to be different based on your rising sign. This is going to have a particularly heavy impact on you if you have planets in your chart at 16 degrees of cardinal signs or at 16 degree of fire signs. I do have the rising sign forecast time stamped below. If you're listening to my podcast, it will be in the description. Okay, Aries, this full moon for you guys, excuse me. Okay, Aries, this full moon for you guys, you are the star of the show, of course, because it's the full moon in Aries, and you guys are Aries, so congratulations, the spotlight's on you. You may feel like there's a lot of attention that's being given to you at this full moon. So this full moon's in conjunction with Chiron, and Chiron is the asteroid of the wounded healer. So this is a particular sensitive point in your psyche that is like kind of like in pain and just hasn't really healed. So this is like an unhealed part of yourself, and I'm hearing that this is actually a part of yourself that you have used to help other people. It's like this sense of pain that you've had about whatever issue that this is within you or in your past experiences has been so painful and so has had such an impact on your life that it's something that you are helping other people with, if that makes sense, because it has developed within you a sense of like passion and also compassion for other people that are going through experiences such as that. So this painful part has become like kind of like important to you in that way, and at this full moon, we have Venus in conjunction with the Sun in your 7th house. And what it's really telling me is that somebody is listening to you about this, and somebody is paying attention to your story, and they are hearing not only what you have to say, but they are feeling it. There's like a softening that they're experiencing, and there's a sense of healing that you're experiencing just from the simple fact of they're there for you, and they like see you, and they're hearing what it is that you've been through, and that in and of itself is magic. It's going to be healing for you just to have that conversation, just to feel seen. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you guys with this full moon is what also can happen here too is that you see other people and you experience something new, like in regards to this aspect of your life, that make you able to let go of an old wound, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense to you guys, because it's not giving me very specific with that that aspect of the reading. Like, I'm just hearing that you will experience something as pertains to somebody else that allows you to let go of holding on to your pain. Okay, Taurus, so this full moon in Aries is happening in your 12th house. This has to do with letting go of something that hurts you. So you're done fighting something. Something is done battling you, because like you had something that you were fighting really hard for, and I'm hearing that it's too painful. So you're letting it go and you don't want to deal with it anymore. And you have surrendered to the fact that either that the fact that it's in your life and you don't want it to be, or you've surrendered to the fact that you're surrendering to something. You're surrendering to the circumstances, and you're saying, you know what, this is like not something, this is not a hill worth dying on. This is not a battle that I want to fight, because honestly, fighting it has been too costly for you, and it's been hurting you too much. It's been causing a lot of pain. And honestly, Taurus rising, you guys are capable of tolerating a lot of pain. So if this is how you're feeling at this time, like, this is honestly a cue. This is honestly a message for you guys to let it go, because it is not worth it. Okay, Gemini, what does this full moon have for you guys? This full moon is happening in your 11th house. This has to do with hopes, dreams, wishes, aspirations, and also our friendships and our groups. There's so many ways this can manifest for you guys, but for some of you, it's going to be an accumulation, a success, an achievement of a goal. You should be very, very proud of yourself. There is a conjunction with Chiron here, so it does feel like what you have achieved at this point has not been without cost. This is actually, it's hurt you to get to this point in order to do the things that you needed to do to get to where you're at now. It did not come for free. I do see that, you know, Venus is in a conjunction with the sun in your 5th house. It does look like you have the support of somebody backing you. You do have relationships. You do have people in your life that are proud of you. Another way that this can manifest is that you're letting go of a goal that you have because it's causing you too much pain. So this is like, honestly, something that you have wanted for a long time, and now you're realizing that you are done fighting for this goal because you're realizing that it's actually causing you more pain than it's worth. Okay, so another way that this can be is that this is the ending of a friendship, because this is the house of friendship, and this full moons are endings, and Chiron here is painful. So there can be a sudden painful ending of a friendship that you have at this time too. So I'm sorry if that is the case here. I would caution you against, breaking up with a friend if it doesn't look like you're the one that's doing this, but if you are feeling like that you are like wanting to end a friendship here or cut off your ties towards the people that you have associated with, I would give it some moments pause, because what's happening to a lot of people at this full moon is that and you could possibly be one of these people, and what I'm trying to say is that your friend could be one of these people, is that like a lot of people are sharing their wounds at this time. Their vulnerability is coming up to the surface, and they're sharing their story. They're saying, this is what happened to me. I was hurt in this way, or I carry this trauma, this pain, and this is why I am the way that I am, and this is why I do the things that I do. And so there is an opportunity for you guys to use your Gemini rising skills and to like listen to that person and to form a new relationship with them at that point. So that's another option. Okay, so that's completely up to your discretion how you handle this situation. But these are the types of things that this full moon can bring up for you. Okay, Cancer rising. What's going on for you guys with this full moon? So at this full moon, this is happening in your 10th house in Aries. A lot of you guys, I'm hearing there's a lot of disappointment. For some of you guys, it's disappointment in what you're bringing to the table. It's disappointment in what you have had to give to other people or what you have to give to other people at this point in your life. Also, some of you may be disappointed in your father or a father figure, a particular person of authority. For those situations, I'm hearing that, whoa, I'm hearing for some of you that this person wasn't your father to begin with. That, and then for some others of you that, your journey is not over, your story is not over, you're judging yourself too harshly. There's an element here to where you're feeling overexposed. It's kind of like the vulnerable or more painful parts of yourself are being seen by a lot of people, and that can be really, really scary. I do want to tell you that it seems like somebody from your family, most likely, sees what's going on, and they actually are responding to you in a way that's very soothing and that's very understanding and compassionate. And so it seems like this person is responding to your pain and your vulnerability and your overexposure with love and with just like more love than you thought they had for you. So that can be a really beautiful thing to experience at this full moon. Leo, what's happening for you? This full moon in Aries is happening in your 9th house. It looks like something about your way that you have identified, or maybe a way that you do identify, is being exposed, and it can feel very raw, it can feel very painful, and it can feel like you're being very vulnerable. There is somebody, it looks like a friend, it's potentially also a family member, but I'm seeing that is most likely a friend that is seeing this part of you that maybe you are sharing with them, and they are responding compassionately, they're responding lovingly, and this is really healing your relationship, not only to yourself, but actually to your faith in humanity and your faith in how you fit into the grand scheme of things. Virgo rising, what is happening for you at this full moon in Aries? The full moon in Aries is happening in your 8th house. The 8th house is everything that goes on behind closed doors. So this is our shared resources. This is the finances that we have with other people. This is our secrets. This is a private area of our life, and it's also a pivotal access point of change and transformation in your own individual life. So what's going on for you guys here? There's a culmination, there's an ending of something in this sector, and it looks like it's a little bit painful because we do have this conjunction with Chiron. I do feel that the Chiron has to do with something like an old wound coming up to the surface about the way that you have been used for your resources in the past. So this can do with other people basically taking too much from you, so that your finances were out of balance. And there's a healing element here because Venus is in Libra in your 2nd house of self-worth. It's kind of healing things, and it's kind of bringing things back into alignment for you. So nonetheless, this can be kind of a painful full moon. I will warn you, there is an opportunity to allow whatever comes to the surface to reveal itself, but that by allowing that that pain to come to the forefront, it can then be cried over and flushed out of our system in order to prepare the way for a better future, because the 8th house is about letting go of things in order to move forward. So that is a possibility here. And then the other thing too is that Jupiter is also in your 8th house right here in Aries. It's not in conjunction to this full moon, but I do feel that it is protecting this financial sector of your life, because some of you may experience some financial loss, or like the fulfillment of a investment not returning exactly what you were hoping for. But I do feel that like Venus, both Venus and Jupiter with their placements are keeping this, are kind of mitigating this. They're kind of keeping it from being too hard hitting, I would say. Okay, Libra, what does this full moon have for you guys? This full moon is happening in your 7th house of relationships and significant other people in your life. This doesn't necessarily have to be a partner. I'm getting the sense that this is not actually your primary partner, though it definitely could be. This is somebody in your life that you've sort of had some trouble with. Not major trouble, just like a little bit of difficulty communicating or relating to them or understanding where they're coming from. And at this full moon, it seems like they are sharing with you something about their past, something about something painful that they have been through. And you're seeing their vulnerability and you're like, oh, okay. And then you get it and you kind of like understand them a little bit more, and it kind of just paves the way for like that troubled part of your relationship with them to be over, and that you're having a better relationship with them now. Another thing that could be happening, I'm hearing to some of you Libras at this time with the full moon in Aries, is that you are cutting somebody off because you no longer can handle their energy in your life, because the energy that they are bringing into your life is a very painful and harmful energy. Okay, so it's interesting because you may not know which one of these it is if you're having difficulty with somebody in your life. So I might give it a little bit of time, like give it a few days after the full moon to play out before you decide to, you know, act on cutting somebody off or not. Because they may reveal something that you're like, oh, and it completely changes the situation. So anyway, that's what we have going on for you guys. Okay, Scorpio rising. So this full moon in Aries is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house has to do with how we serve other people. So this is where we go to do the things that we need to do. It's not the things that we want to do. It's the things that we need to do. Granted, there can be a lot of passion and drive in this area of our lives because we can find a lot of meaning in the things that are needed from us and the things that other people ask of us. A lot of people here even form a whole identity around how they're needed by other people and how their service is used. So there's definitely nothing wrong about this, but what we have with the full moon in Aries here is that there's a conjunction with Chiron, and Chiron has to do with a wound that has never healed, and Aries does have to do with childhood a lot. So this is a very painful point that it's a very sensitive point that the full moon is hitting and exposing. So something about the way that others have taken from you, the way that you have had to serve other people, the things that you have had to do, okay, like had to do, really didn't want to do, were kind of like, I'm hearing forced, like you were forced to do. This wound, wound from the past is being seen and healed by the way that you are changing your own, I'm hearing that some of you are actually going to be letting go of some relationships around this time, before or slightly after this. Around this time, you'll be letting go of some relationships, either that this is a result of letting go of those relationships, or that you're going to be letting go of relationships because of this. But there's some healing that you are doing about this wound, and it seems to be from either a partner that is seeing you privately and saying like, yes, look, I see you, or it's from a your higher self, and it has to do with your own personal development and how you are changing the way that you relate to yourself and the way that you speak to yourself. So it's kind of this beautiful process, but what's happening at this full moon is that you're being exposed, and you're being exposed in a way that is safe and that you're being seen. So that's what I got for you guys for the full moon. So it's pretty cool. Okay, Sagittarius, what does this full moon in Aries have for you? This is taking place in your 5th house. This is your creative center. And I want you to think about at this time what it is that you really want. You as an individual, you all by yourself really, really want. Because during this month in general, you're very focused on what it is that you desire moving forward in your life. And you're definitely considering another person or other people in this decision-making process. And that's a wonderful thing. But this new moon is focused on you because it's Aries, and on you because this is your 5th house. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What motivates you? What gets your blood rushing? What is exciting for you? What is creative for you? What is going to keep you motivated on a personal level? This full moon is in conjunction with Chiron. So it seems like in the past you haven't really prioritized this part of your life. It's like you have definitely always considered other people when you consider the future. There may be something painful about this full moon that is exposing the fact that you have not prioritized yourself as an individual. So that's what I want you to think about at this full moon, because it looks like this is being exposed, and this might feel very raw. And it looks like somebody is seeing as well this part of you, maybe this resentment towards this part of your life where you feel like it's never gotten to be about you. I would say that the person who is seeing this is handling it with grace. They're having a lot of compassion. They're having a lot of love. What I'm hearing is, of course we care about what you want. You just need to tell us. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing for you guys for this full moon. Okay, Capricorn rising. So this full moon is happening in your 4th house of home. There's something pertaining to the mother or real estate, the actual physical home, that is painful and hasn't really been healed. And this is being exposed at this time. So that can feel really, really uncomfortable. There is an opposition happening to Venus, where Venus from the 10th house, it's like somebody is seeing your pain and they are like acknowledging it and they are validating it. And this can also be coming from a source that you perceive as an authority figure or somebody that you admire. So that can be really healing in and of itself. For the most part, this is also an ending too of something in the 4th house sector. So that can actually be healing in and of itself. The fact that you're letting go or saying goodbye to something that has been painful for you for a really long time. Okay, Aquarius, what does this full moon have in store for you guys? The full moon is happening in your 3rd house. There is a culmination, an ending of something that is in this area of your life, and it can feel a little bit sudden and maybe a little bit painful. I am seeing that there is like loving, healing energy coming from Venus, which is in conjunction with the sun in your 9th house. So it can feel like there's a divine presence that is watching over you, that is sending you healing, loving energy. So whatever is happening, this may be a little bit painful, but it feels like in the back of your mind, there's like this energy that's telling you like, it's okay, you're gonna be okay. So what could this possibly be? So this could possibly be the ending of a way that you are transporting yourself around. So like the breaking down of a car, or some situation, some circumstances change to where like your mode of transportation is ending. Then another option is that there can be something pertaining to the childhood or to the way that you communicate with other people and also your siblings. So this can also just feel like there's a painful ending to a relationship that falls into this category. You may feel like you are seeing how you have hurt other people with your words is what I'm hearing. Some of you also may be realizing how much you have advocated for other people, and it may feel like you are realizing that you have knocked on the wrong doors when you're advocating for those people. For some of you, that's advocating for yourself, and you're realizing that you are falling on deaf ears. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of channeled messages right now about this. I'm hearing that it's time to let it go. So that's a message for some of you guys. Look back to the things that you wanted in childhood. That's what I'm also being told, is that for some of you, this is letting go of something that you didn't even really want to begin with. And to look back into your childhood and think about what it is that you wanted as a child. Because for some of you, there may be some dreams there that have been buried because somebody else told you that you couldn't do them. Okay, Pisces, what does this full moon in Aries have for you? Well, for a lot of you, this is going to be about letting go of other people's expectations about what it is that you should be doing. This is happening in your second house, and with Aries as your second house, you understand that your ability to make decisions is something that other people value you for. However, a lot of you have a pattern of making decisions based on what other people are expecting of you, which you don't need a lot of push from other people to make those decisions. So I guess what I'm saying is you don't need to have an overt bully there in order to persuade you to do something that you know is going to please other people or meet the expectations of somebody else. It can be even confusing here to know whose desire is really at play when you go to make decisions. So this can be something that's a little bit of a painful revelation to you, that you may be realizing that some of the decisions that you've made in the past, actually maybe a lot of the decisions that you've made in the past have not been for your own benefit, they've been for somebody else's. So this can be kind of painful here with this conjunction to Chiron. Also, at this time, you're letting go of some painful, toxic beliefs that other people have put on you. It's like other people's perceptions of you has shaped a lot your perception of yourself. And at this point, you're shedding a lot of, or you're at least shedding something about this, where you're like, that was never my truth. That was never true for me. That was actually just your belief about myself, and now I'm purging it from my own psyche. Okay, that's going to be great for you, Pisces rising. So I'm happy for you with this.